Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg.
I'm Emily.
And we're here to talk about When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. We are Telltale Books, bringing you the best in literature, literary topics, and graphic design and bookmaking.
If you want to support us, you can find us on Etsy and Pango, where you can find gently used, rare, and even top quality used books.
And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and maybe even that bell to be notified when new videos go live.
Thanks for joining us.
So this is a contemporary work. Not a lot of information that we can get on it other than it's a fairly feminist work, and it's written in an alternate history fantasy of the United States.
Yeah, this was just published, what, 2024?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a fairly recent one.
And it is set in western Wisconsin, I think?
Yes, primarily in western Wisconsin.
Is that why you picked it?
Kind of.
Okay.
I can't
you
lie.
Said that, you said that at one time you wanted to read more Wisconsin works.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe that's why you picked this.
Yes, but also the feminist in me was like, all right, let's see how feminist this feminist work is.
Okay.
In actuality. So
I'll say right up front that I didn't care for this. I DNF'd it.
nothing wrong with that.
I don't know too much about the synopsis, and so you get to run with it.
Yep. So the synopsis is fairly simple. In 1956, over 600,000 women all simultaneously turned into dragons. And the rest of the story is describing the aftermath from the perspective of one character in particular and her family. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Without spoilers, that's it.
So without spoilers, what did you think about it?
All right. I liked it.
Okay.
At first I was very hesitant. I thought maybe we might have a more controversial book because it's kind of a hokey concept when you think of it right off the bat in bare bones. But the more I delved into it, the more I realized this is more of a novel written like a memoir coming of age story.
Mm-hmm.
And goes later even into adulthood and late adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And so the backdrop is more of a means to an end, but also talking about the societal turmoil. So it's not just talking about the crisis of this character, it's talking about the crisis of this character and then also the societal issues that have been addressed. Because suddenly a huge portion of the population is gone. And what do you do when these women are gone? What do you do when you have a bunch of single fathers trying to make families work? What do you do when you have all these, typically female-run positions in workforces as like secretaries and caregivers and nurses and things like that are suddenly gone?
You're free!
Except some of them ate their husbands before they left.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. And then on top of that, suddenly there's dragons everywhere. They don't just go away. They're around, and you have to cope with the fact that there's dragons now. Mm-hmm. What do we do with this? How do we figure it out? How do we make laws to make sure that we protect people? How? All the who's, what's, and how's of this entire scenario. Mm-hmm. And how it affects people's daily lives. Mm-hmm. So it's really interesting the more you delve into it. Like the first part, the coming of age story, is a very typical, trying to think of good coming of age stories. For some reason, Little House on the Prairie is Kill a Mockingbird, Little House on the Prairie. It kind of gives that vibe, which is a little hokey, I think, for some people. It is not for everybody. Yeah. But when you start getting into intermittently, they're talking about Congress is having meetings. Scientists are writing articles. People are trying to figure this out. So you're getting like the global perspective, or at least the nation's perspective, on how to address this issue.
So eventually people start talking about this, because the portion of the book I read, no one was allowed to talk about it.
Yes, they have to, because it is disrupting everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it kind of addresses the issues of like the post-World War eras where men went to war, came back, never spoke of it. And it's kind of like women don't talk about this either. Like families are just kind of glazing this over, trying to do business as usual, trying to keep calm and carry on, so to speak. and there's nothing to keep calm and carry on about.
Yeah.
So the first reaction by society is to just control everything. Later, it becomes less about the control and more about acceptance, which I think is interesting. One of the themes of this book is also talking about our main character is queer and is discovering this in her adolescence. So it's not just the juxtaposition of women changing into dragons and then trying to find a place in society later, but there also is this character who's queer in a time when it is not socially acceptable to be queer. And the fight and struggles of being queer at a young age and knowing it, but trying to hide it or stifle it just as much as some women try to hide and stifle wanting to become dragons too. So it's a really interesting combination of things going on in this story. And it goes through basically pretty much the full life of this main character, from her earliest memories to when her spouse dies. And it's pretty much that encapsulated.
Okay.
Now to the spoilers. She also has a sister who is really her cousin. Nobody talks about her mother becoming a dragon. She also has a mother who passes away from an illness. At the beginning of the story, the mom has come home from somewhere. Sounds like a medical issue. Not sure if she had cancer treatment. At first, I thought maybe she was a woman who was lobotomized. Because that was also common for women to get in the 50s. Because she came from... Her sister was clearly very feminist and potentially during the war had been a lesbian. And so there was some hint at potentially her having those issues as well. And the two women, one definitely chose to become a dragon, the other stifled it. But when when her cousin was adopted into their family, it was just, she's your sister. She was never your cousin. You say cousin, you get punished harshly. She's your sister. This is the way it is now. Also talking about like the mistreatment, her father was a wandering man. He cheated on his mom all the time. It was heavily implied that his business trips were not, in fact, business trips.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of societal issues going on, interfamily issues going on in this household, and eventually her cousin's sister also learns how to become a dragon, but can switch between the two. And this phenomenon ends up striking the public very interestingly, because then there's a second surge of young women who become dragons. And so they're like, okay, well, this is now a fact of life that this could just happen all the time, and we can't not talk about it anymore. And a lot of these dragons continue to have the ability to speak. So they're trying to get involved in politics. They're writing books. They're doing science. They're getting the articles done. And so they're the ones who are stepping in to advocate for themselves. So there's a lot of like social justice themes going on, feminist themes going on. It's very interesting, and to put it on the backdrop of this alternate fantasy universe in the United States, especially once it gets to the Nixon administration, super interesting.
Okay.
So I ended up enjoying it. I can see, though, that this is bizarre enough that a lot of people might not. I tend to really enjoy bizarre literature. And what I really like, too, is that this wasn't a book. I always get concerned, as a feminist, is this just going to be a man-bashing book? Thankfully, it was not. It was actually a holistic society of how people choose to misunderstand and remain ignorant of certain things and situations. So it wasn't just targeting men. It targeted the PTA. It targeted the government. It targeted a lot of spaces where women were experiencing frustration because of a lack of empathy and deciding, like, people just choosing not to understand.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that, because I don't love man-bashing materials. I think we all need to be living in harmony and respecting and loving each other to the best of our abilities. Like, we have to at least be civilized. There's no way of getting rid of everyone.
Right.
And there are some personalities you just can't get along with. That is what it is. But I did appreciate this work because it wasn't sitting there man-bashing at all.
Yeah.
It was talking about society as a whole and situations as a whole, and just as many women contributing to societal problems.
Yeah.
And I think that was really important to emphasize. This isn't just a male-dominated issue. This is an everyone issue. It's our lack of ability to choose to understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
And weaponizing ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciated it for that, and I thought it was a really great read. So, but it is a strange read, and there is a lot going on and to pay attention to. So it is not for everyone, but I think a lot of feminists would enjoy this work, or if you just like female positivity, because there's a lot of really good examples of healthy female relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is also a societal issue. There are a lot of girls who see each other as competition, and they're not. Like, if we banded together and took care of each other and tried to support one another in healthy ways and had healthy boundaries, society, I think, as a whole would be a lot happier. So I really appreciated that about this work, too. But it also shows you just as much toxic, so...
Yeah.
Really good combination of representations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
For me, based on the title, based on what little marketing information I'd read about it, I was expecting more about the dragon side of it. And I knew it was going to be feminist. I kind of thought it was going to be these women turning into dragons to get revenge. And I thought there would be more action, more battle, more flames, and the book starts after the women had already turned into dragons and disappeared. And so then it's talking about this young girl, and it's getting into things like menstruation and stuff. And I thought, well, okay, but not really what I want to be reading for enjoyment.
Yeah, which is a common thing in female coming-of-age stories. That is a topic of understanding.
Yeah,
that part was actually kind of funny, though, if you read more.
Yeah, but it's very much targeting young women, not targeting old guys.
No, for sure. Again, this is very much a very particular kind of reader.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That said, I did think it was well written.
It is very well written.
There was nothing wrong with the writing. There was nothing wrong with the book. It's just not
your
me.
thing. Yeah, and that's fine. And that's, I think, the beauty of having these conversations is that we do have the opportunity to just be like, there is a type of person for this book. It's not Greg.
No.
Or anybody who likes the same stuff Greg likes.
Well, there might be other guys like me that would like this book because nobody's exactly like me, but
exactly.
I guess I'd rather read Isaac Asimov than read this.
No, I get it. It is kind of interesting that there is a fantasy element to this too, because a lot of scientists are trying to explain the phenomenon, and so it kind of was like, well, maybe quantum physics is part of this, and we just have a weird thing going on. But there is kind of a mystical element too that I think is really interesting, where it's kind of it blurs the line between science and magic, as we have discussed in videos before, that I thought was very fun and fascinating.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I would call it a top tale if, Greg wasn't so much on top of it, but it is a very odd book. But it was well worth it. I've given it to several female friends of mine that I think would really enjoy it.
Okay.
So, it's good.
All right.
I recommend it.
Okay. I can't not recommend it because I didn't read enough of it. But I can't recommend it either because I didn't read enough of it.
Yeah. No,
it just wasn't doing it for me. And so I bailed.
It's valid.
Okay.
There's plenty I've bailed on. I bailed on Lolita. That one pissed me off. But, it is what it is. We can't win them all.
No.
So, have you read When Women Became Dragons? Became? I can't remember now.
Word.
Yeah, when women became dragons.
Okay.
I think is pretty much what it is. Have you read it?
Your title.
Did you enjoy it? Or is it on your TBR? Let us know what you thought. Or if you're ready to read it, go for it. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So feel free to leave comments if you finally read it and get to delve into everything we just discussed here.
And can't say if we're gonna read more by this author because I don't know if she's written more.
Yeah.
But we review lots of stuff on this channel, so definitely come on back and join us for a lot more. So be sure and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and maybe even that bell to get notified when new videos go up. Although we have a huge back catalog that you can explore of
Over 800
literature
videos.
going all the way back.
Over 800 videos, guys. So feel free to look
So
at
we're
those.
trying to,
Yeah.
and all of it's there for you to enjoy and leave comments on if you wish. And until the next time, we hope you'll join us.
Yep.
When we're done with this one.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.